Our next speaker is Nonyelum Nweke from Lagos, Nigeria. She's the founder and the executive director of Cerebral Palsy Center in Lagos. She's also the mother of a daughter with CP. And you're going to speak to Action Area 7, which is about ensuring that caregivers and children with developmental disabilities have access to information and support.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nweke. I have a daughter with cerebral palsy. She's a 3-month child of 18 years. So we are fast running into childhood, we are fast running into adulthood. And then she's on level 5 of the gross multifunctional classification system. She has seizures, she has scoliosis. And when she was like 3-4 years, because of where I'm from, we're in Nigeria, and then when the young lady said they're behind, I simply smiled and wondered if she could say they're behind. I wonder where we will say we are. But we've learned to blossom where we are planted. So I'm speaking to, when she was 3, I started looking around. But when I got the diagnosis, actually, I was the one who went to the doctor to complain that something wasn't quite right with my daughter. Meanwhile, we are going for our immunization, and nobody observed that something was wrong with her. So when she was diagnosed, I was advised that I could not take care of her. A single parent, my baby is adopted. And though I didn't understand cerebral palsy, I didn't, take her back like I was advised. So 3-4 years down the line, I'm still looking around. Thank God for the internet. I started wondering what was happening outside my country. Then I found out that cerebral palsy, is not new. It wasn't new. In 2006, I understand since 1886, they've been talking about cerebral palsy. It just happened that it hadn't come to the front in my country. Of course, understandably why. So I decided to begin to, all we used to hear was disabilities. So when you have a child with cerebral palsy, you don't even know what your child has. Just know that child is not walking, she's not meeting her developmental milestones. So I decided to start talking about cerebral palsy. So I established the first organization that exclusively started working with children with cerebral palsy. I'm not a professional, I'm just a mother. So I'll just acting from what I read from the internet. Incidentally, CP Alliance was one of the sites I found. And I found out that where we were, back then, that 50 years ago, 80 years ago, was where they were like 70 years behind before when they founded the CPCenter, which later became the CP Alliance. So I started modeling what I was doing, after what they did. So what did I do? I didn't find a place where I would take my child. The first thing you find out when you have a child like mine is that the child is not able to go to a regular school. And because understandably why, the teachers, the crèche, they wouldn't know what to do with the child. Again, there was a general lack of understanding of what the condition is. So I decided to start talking about cerebral palsy. I went to the internet, printed out information, put it inside like a flyer, and I was giving that freely to people. What is cerebral palsy? Picked from the internet so that I can explain. So I went to doctors, I said, telling them the need to have a place strictly for cerebral palsy. Many didn't buy into it, but I bought into it. It was my vision, so I started that. So I started encouraging families to bring their children so they can go to work, they can go to involve in their daily economic activities. 3-4 years down the line, for so many reasons, I found out the need for there to be a boarding facility. Coming from where I am, transport system, the children are getting older, particularly the children on the severe spectrum, they're not able to walk. Others cannot carry them, in their bags as is custom here to go. We don't talk of wheelchair because even if you have the wheelchair, the roads are not accessible. So I started a boarding facility. It was a big thing. People would bring in their kids in the morning, Monday mornings, then Fridays, take them home. Then, so it's been 14 years, and in these 14 years, we started this. I have met with a lot of families, which is what I feel I should talk about the empowering, ensuring that caregivers are well equipped and they have the support they need. I hear a lot of education, even as Chair was presenting, I hear education, I hear employment. I'm not hearing about children who are on the severe spectrum of cerebral palsy. Children who, apart from their physical disability, they have intellectual disability, which is very common with most children on the severe spectrum who are completely affected. So what are we doing with those children? In my place, when my daughter was diagnosed along the line, I started seeing people with cerebral palsy who went to regular schools, meaning they had mild cerebral palsy, they had speech, which is very huge because when you don't have speech, you know what that means. So I started seeing them, and I still wondering, what did they do for families that will come to them? I started going out, I started getting called because I used to go to television to create awareness to talk about what I was doing. So I started getting calls from families who have children in their 20s, in their 30s, that they were at home with their kids. The kids couldn't go anywhere. And now the fear of the parents was what happens to this child when they die. Invariably, most parents will die before their children. So you now have children who are perpetually children, like my daughter. So how do we prepare them for life after childhood? Or even as children that are not going to school, do we have a place for them? Do we have a place where their parents will take them every day? And so the parents can engage in some economic activities. So we talk of information. What do we do with information? It's okay to inform the parents. In my place, it's only recently, because of internet, that oftentimes parents even go to doctors to help the doctor to diagnose her child. You already know your child has cerebral palsy because after the symptoms, you look them up on the internet. You now go to the doctor, but you're not telling the doctor your child has cerebral palsy, but you are telling the doctor, my child is not doing this, my child is not doing this. Sometimes the doctor tells you that and then refers you for physiotherapy. Most times, nobody educates you to let you know, oh, the physiotherapy, this is the aim of it. There was no cure for what you have for the condition. So as you progress, you are not looking for what to do with the child. The facts out here. But I was trying to see a provision for children like my child, for children like the children I work with who have severe disability with other current conditions, who may never be able to speak, and then they are able to sit on their own. They will continuously need assistance all through their lives. So when we empower parents, what do we do? What do we do with the information? So I'm thinking that if we can empower the parents to come together, this is what I do. When I set up this place, I encourage parents to come in and work. So they bring their kids, we work together. Right now, I have a parent who is working as a staff so that we can grow a community. I read a lot about institutionalization. When you read it, you don't even want to think about it, much less take your child in such places. But the question is, who are those managing those institutions? How did the supervising authorities allow them to get to those stages? Was there structures in place to monitor them? So I'm thinking that institutionalization may not exactly be bad, depending on who runs it. Because we must take into cognizance that there are children who will outlive their parents. Getting relations to manage the child stability. Well, in my part of the world, it is difficult. Ever so often, I get reports I get calls from parents, from neighbors, asking that, oh, a mother passed, or a family member passed. What is her? There is a child here who has cerebral palsy. They're looking for what to do with that. So I'm thinking that if we remove a lot of, if we don't maybe stigmatize, maybe talk down so much about institutionalization, maybe we empower parents to set up these things, give them grants so they can set up adequate places for their children, those ones who may never function in the society, so that the parents can run the place. It will be, because it's a reality. It's like old age, people will age, and some parents, their children may outlive their children, and who takes care of them? In some societies, you have the old people's home for them. But in a society where you don't have, it's important, it's imperative that we create that. And what that does is that if we know that there is a place that is being supervised, then you can monitor that place. You can ensure that it is properly run. So it is okay to say that children should go to school, children should or we should train them to go to school, prepare them for employment. But it's a reality that some of the children may not be able to make that. And it is only parents who can best prepare place for their children for that. So when we look at those reports, I'm thinking that it's important we take that into cognizance, because if we don't, people will be hiding to do that, and we may not be able to monitor them appropriately. Thank you.